live on Instagram as well as YouTube right now. Hope that you guys are going to start to join. Let's see. I said I was going to possibly come on today, and I decided to do it. So let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. Hey, thank you for joining. View requests, be in your live video. I don't know who you are, so but you can wave and you can send me comments there. I'm going to try to look at both. And no agenda, just decided to be on live. We are at this point, let me find out where we're at. I think we're something like 6 away from 40,000. So if you haven't gone on my YouTube channel yet, go there. It's Susan Elias Couture and subscribe. Hey, thank you. Thank you, thank you. All right. I did send out an email really early to my people that I possibly were going to go live, and don't know what that's all about up there. So I am, just for a moment. Let's see what happens. I just want to welcome this transition or this level to come on, and let's see where we're at. I'm going to go in and check this real quick. All right, guys, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. All right, guys, where are these people here? All right, let's see if I can get them on. Just checking where we're at so that I can be knowledgeable of where we're at here. Channel. Thank you for joining. I'm live both on Instagram and YouTube right now. I'm just trying to see where we're at. And I can't really see. Let's see where I can see that page. Go to custom manage. And where are we? Live shorts. All right, do not glitch. Let's see where we're at. I'm using both phones, so I can't check on there. I'm going to check on my computer at this point to see where we're at. But thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Okay. Okay. Just 1 minute. All right. Just 1 minute. I'm just doing something here on the computer. Thank you for joining. All right. So it's been a journey, guys. It's been a journey. And I am here to tell you that, first of all, I'm back. I'm going to get in the routine, have a clear slate of what's going to happen next, and would welcome some of your feedback of what you think should happen next on this channel, because it is pretty extensive and I want your input. So let's see, I'm just checking something here. Let's see, and all right, if you're new, let me know. Just check out your website, really clean. All right, all I get these days is SEO help. And as far as I can think at this point with YouTube, SEO is dead. It's irrelevant, because YouTube, if you don't know, it is ever changing, guys. If you're not on it, you're behind it. And it no longer just relies on your subscribers and feeding them your information. It generates what it thinks you want to see and what you want to hear. So it doesn't matter what I hashtag at this point. I'm giving you YouTube information at this point, probably Instagram information at this point. So unfortunately, I don't think that's a factor. I think it's really just YouTube and how they decide they're going to push your videos or what you're saying. And so it shifted. It's not even a big deal to have subscribers. You can blow up on YouTube without subscribers, really. I mean, you have to have enough in order to monetize your channel, but you don't really need hundreds of thousands of subscribers anymore in order to make large amounts of money that some of these people are making. So there are different avenues. It is a full-time job just researching what's next. And so with all that set aside, I want to just be here for you guys, answer questions. I appreciate all of you guys that have reached out on a daily basis and wanting to give me SEO help and saying that you have, that you love my channel and you think it should be definitely bigger and blown up more than it is. I really appreciate that. And let's see what happens. So I'm just trying to see where we're at. I'm just trying to see, I can't see the YouTube, here we go, YouTube Studio. So you have to see in Studio where you're at, because that's where your actual numbers are. It's not, just on the regular channel. That's a little behind. But, so if you are on Instagram, because I think this is on Instagram and this guy is on YouTube, get on YouTube and talk to me there, because I would love that. That would be awesome if you can just get on my Susan Elias Couture page on YouTube and, chat there as well. Need to see some action there. But I'm just coming on because really, I think the last time I actually celebrated a level of subscriptions was when I was at 10,000. And so that was years ago already. So it's been a journey. It's been a long time. And I'm still here. I'm still here giving you guys what hopefully you want to see and hear. So let's see what happens. Let's see if anybody is showing up. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for being here. It is a Friday. It is the summer. So I'm not really sure what will happen, but I may come back, when it does reach what it needs to reach. But I do appreciate you guys, and I took a little bit of a hiatus and still kind of in that mindset still, but percolating on what I want to put on the channel and what I want to do. Oh, good. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being here. So yeah, give me input. Put in the comments what you want to see next, what you felt was the most powerful part of what you got from my channel, and I would love to get your feedback. Because I'm now in the process of percolating and trying to see which avenue, and I don't want to take a rash approach. I'm noticing other YouTubers who've been on the platform 10 plus years like I have, that they're doing radical stuff, right? And I'm not sure if I want to do that approach. So thank you. Yeah, like I said, thank God it doesn't really matter anymore how many subscribers you have, unless at least you have to get enough to monetize your channel, because you can have 1,000 subscribers and have a video blow up and have 100,000 views and make a lot of money just with 1,000 subscribers. So because YouTube is pushing these videos to who they think wants to see it. So if you talked about it, even if you thought about it, AI has found you. So which is pretty interesting. Oh, thank you for mentioning that. Do you have any thoughts on on the current curriculum in the fashion school today? Well, if you got me at the 10,000 subscribers and you were asking me that question, I would have said, you still need to be in school. Now, today, you don't need to be in school. You literally do not need to go to fashion school. I'm saying it out loud. There are ways, and now I've implemented that as well by having live courses in classrooms where you can come. There are few schools left, right? There's just a few universities, a handful. The university that I taught at in Miami is no longer there. Other smaller universities that are percolating up, that are giving the students what they really need at a better cost, is what's actually thriving. So that is, if you need the hands-on, you need to be there in person, then I still think you need to do it, because like I said in my other videos, that fashion is an applied science. You literally have to put your fingers to the thing and actually do it. You can't just think about it or read it or memorize it. You have to do it. So I am live on both, on YouTube. Yes, I am live on YouTube, so get on YouTube and see me there as well. I would love it. So Susan Elias Couture. Yeah, the whole, I mean, being off of it for a little bit and kind of stepping back from the daily posting and daily videos and all of that and weekly, you can see it's very fast, guys. You can lose momentum very fast. You can gain momentum very fast, or you can be like me, slow and steady wins the race. Hopefully, that's what we're counting on. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, so as far as fashion schools go, there's still a relevance for them. There's still rock star universities out there. I went to FIT in New York, and it's still one of the best out there. I will still say it's still one of the best. And the reason why I still think it's one of the best is because it gets you ready for the industry. It literally prepares you in every aspect of the industry. It doesn't just get you thinking about, creating a lovely, sketch from a Monet, picture or Degas. I mean, it gets you to actually apply the creativity that you were born with, or that you're developing, into actually applying it to make garments and to make them sellable garments in the industry. So it prepares you for the brutality of the industry, so to speak. So I still believe that structure is necessary. And even with my live classes, you're in school, guys. You are accountable with me. I'm pretty tough. I was a tough instructor when I was teaching at the university level, and I'm pretty tough when it's still with my thing. I mean, I don't, if you want to play around, and there's others for that, or you can just watch videos at your pace if you want that. So yeah, but I mean, I hear it all the time. Slow and steady wins the race. I guess I just have to believe and go there. So it's just a number. But it feels good, and it's a reason to come on and to thank you guys for that number. I do appreciate it. It is what kept me going, having the interaction with you guys, having the viewership and the engagement and the questions. So that was important to me. It still is, because you're doing this alone in your little isolated bubble, and you guys are the interaction that keeps us going, so to speak. So yeah. So I say, okay, to hear thoughts on visible employment with fashion design degree, especially in the area of entrepreneurship. There's still really no university that teaches you entrepreneurship. I mean, you either have that in your blood or you don't. You either need to do that or you can't. you know, a lot of it has to do with how independent you want to be, or do you need somebody to help guide you and to be over and watch over what you're doing. So, you know, that's part of it. I think some universities are starting to implement it. There's still not a lot taught in universities, in fashion schools, on the business side of fashion. I believe that is probably the most important part. If I tell you how small, and I think it was like one class, that's it at the end, that prepares you for the business side of it, and then, you know, it's just, you learn as you go, right? You learn as you go. But now, I mean, we didn't have YouTube then, you know what I mean, when I was studying, you know, in the dark ages, right? So, with this at your fingertips, I can't imagine anybody slipping through the cracks, because if there's something that you're lacking, if there's something that you can't do, you're going to be able to figure it out by researching on YouTube, because there'll probably be a video about it, there'll probably be a blog about it, there'll probably be a podcast about it. So chances are, if you're lacking in an area, you should be able to find it on YouTube. It's that accessible, right? Okay, trying to expose my dear relatives to various options. I ended up being a freelance sewing educator eventually after fashion in the 80s. Okay. I mean, there's so many aspects to Let's Go Sew with Joanne Banco. Great comment. You know, you can graduate from fashion school and be strong in one or two areas of the business, because there's a lot, right? I mean, there's a lot. Oh, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. So you could make a whole career out of just that one area. So if you were very strong in the sewing part of it, and you felt like you could be a good educator in the sewing aspect of it, then you can make a whole career out of that, right? That's all you have to do. Yeah. All right, great. Thank you for hopping on YouTube from Instagram. I'm live on Instagram and YouTube. I'm at or almost at 40,000 subscribers, and like I said I would come out of the hole and dark hole and show up for you guys if I got there or was getting there. So I'm doing it. I'm here just for a brief moment. Ask me what you'd like. I'm just going to try to be here for you guys and answer questions and let you know that I'm all ears to what you're thinking you would like to see on my channel, because I thought covered most of everything, but there's areas that I think need to be revisited. I'm not really sure. So I would love your input on that. Thank you guys. Thank you for coming. I really appreciate it. Looks like there's more action on Instagram. All right, so it is a Friday and it is afternoon, and it is summer, so but I wanted to do this anyways. Yes, you are so right. I was taught very nitty-gritty technical from the curriculum at the former progressive school, fashion school in Cleveland. School was started in 1911. Awesome. Yeah, I'm telling you, I mean, when I went to FIT, I think it was one of the first years that they actually, it was also the first year they were developing the BFA, because they didn't even have it when I actually went into the school. So they were also putting the subcategories so that you can specialize in a certain area. And the push back then in the 80s was in menswear. And they really wanted me there. And, you know, hindsight, I would have loved to maybe done both, but there was just nothing happening in menswear, and my heart was in couture. All right, Hot Mess Maker, go on YouTube. I want to see you there. Thank you for joining. Thank you. So some of my students are there. So what was I saying? Anyways, it's something that you kind of have to develop over time and understand what you're doing. And I had no idea what I was doing when I started this channel, guys. No idea. I actually reviewed it last night, you know, in my insomnia nights. And I was noticing, like I said, if you guys don't know the story, I put the first 2 YouTube videos back in 2010. When you didn't do it alone yet. Casey did, maybe, but I didn't have that ability. I wasn't a filmmaker. I didn't know how to, I didn't use my phone. I didn't know how to use the cameras for the video part of it. To make a long story short, I did a test shoot. I had an idea of what I wanted to do, and I wanted to see if I actually was going to be someone who could be on camera. And I did this test shoot. Apparently, they thought it was a natural, but they stole the name and the idea and the footage. I somehow got the footage back. And in those days, you couldn't put the full amount. You can only put, I think, a certain amount. I think no more than 10 minutes back then. So I chopped it in half, put it raw out on YouTube, and didn't even know to monetize, guys, and blew up to 100 and something thousand and didn't make a dime because I didn't even know to monetize or what to do. Hence, another year later, actually hired somebody to do some videos. Expensive, you know, you're not making the money yet, guys. You don't have the money coming in. And then I noticed a couple of years go by where nothing was posted, till I took it on myself to just use my little phone and prop it up and show you things with fashion design, and then, you know, purchased a camera and started to work with that, and then went further and further on that. So in essence, even though I've been on the platform since 2010, I basically really didn't do it full time, or more consistent, I should say, till about 7 years ago, 6-7 years ago. So that's why whatever the initial subscribers or viewers that were there probably dropped off when I had that couple years of where did she go kind of thing. It didn't matter. I still had a lot to share and wanted to share that, so I went on and just kept going with you guys. So that's why I'm here. As good as yours. You didn't need fancy. Oh, thank you. Thank you for the compliment. I teach just like I would teach you if you were one of my students at the university. The same level of information, the same style of teaching. So it's, you know, how I teach. And I believe that, you know, if you really wanted to, guys, my channel has it all. It's all there. It's, if you really researched and even looked at my playlist, you can pretty much get school for free on my channel. But if you wanted something that is more structured, more of a school setting where you're accountable and I'm looking at you and I'm like, hey, did you do it? Let me see what you did. Then you can do my live classes. I think I have 5 courses that I have put up on my website, eliascouture.com. So they're there for you to see. I now have the permission from the actual live classes. The recorded versions have been edited. Not all of them, most of them. I think 3 of the 4 or 5 classes have been edited already. And they're going to be slowly uploaded to the members only level of my YouTube members. I have a premium membership already. It's a very minimal amount. I have not raised it from the moment I started it. And you have access to me once a month where you get to pick my brain and ask questions of myself, as well as a very, very tight group of very smart, creative people. And we all kind of help each other, and that's a minimal amount, and that's on as a premium member. And then now there is the masterclass, where you get to look at the recorded version and all the material that's involved in the recorded version for a monthly fee, which is just also a drop in the bucket. In other words, you can do it for a month, and then you decide you had enough, whatever, you can get off the platform, you can come back on the platform, and you can absorb as many of the videos that are out there and courses that are out there that you are able to devour in the amount of time. So you can stay on that. It's I think a fair monthly fee for that, so that you can learn the courses, and it gives you another avenue that you don't have to spend a large amount of money up front and materials and stuff. You can kind of do this on your own. You can stop and start the video. You can go with the curriculum. You can email me with questions and have it that way. So yeah. So I have it in 3 different levels. Live with me when it's available at different times of the year. The recorded version that's on the website with the support of myself and the material. And then also the membership at an even lower fee at your pace in your ways of doing it as well. So it's there. It's there. So I'd love to get your input on what you think. I think Instagram is a tougher nut to crack than YouTube, frankly. But anyways, I'm on both Instagram and YouTube right now. I can't tell you where we are because I don't know if I'm at 40 yet, but you can go on there. Oh, we got another subscriber, just got another one. We're 3 down. 3 of you guys have to go on Susan Elias Couture and subscribe, and we can get there in a moment. So if you haven't, go ahead and do that. I would love it. I would love it. Thank you. Oh, wow. I love the comments. Keep the comments going. Keep the comments going. Thank you for joining. All right, guys. So, yep, it's a journey. It's a journey, an ever-changing journey, but this is the way things are now. So I don't see it changing. And I don't think YouTube is going anywhere. So fingers crossed. Let's just keep it going. So yeah, how you guys doing? Give me some comments. Comments, and not just for SEOs. Give me comments, guys. Give me comments. All right. Yes, I think YouTube is great for in-depth content for all ages. Very, very true. It is. It is my research, platform. If it is, and I am starting to use AI. I'm not really advocating or using AI to actually make or edit videos at this point, but it's helping me a little bit more in the research. It's actually helping more with keywords, and it's funny because now AI is there, and it's not even as necessary to have those hashtags and proper titles, etc. It's just YouTube at this point. So you're at the mercy of YouTube and how and when they want to push your videos to whomever they think is wanting that particular subject. So that's the way it's happening right now. That's what's going on. And I thank you for being here. Thank you for the 40,000 subscribers on YouTube. Thank you for putting up with my angst, trying to teach you all the aspects of fashion design. I'm now percolating and trying to see how I want to approach this and doing a little bit of research. Oh, thank you. Thank you, thank you. And want to get your input of what you think you want to see, what's next. How do you see YouTube? How do you see, what am I drinking? Watered down orange juice, ice and water, just to kind of keep me afloat. That's what it is. But there's no alcohol in this. Probably should have it, because maybe I'll sleep tonight. But it's just watered down orange juice and ice and water. Yep. So thank you. All right, guys. I know it's really interesting. I'm getting a huge audience from India. I thank you so much. All of a sudden, out of the blue, I'm getting a ton. Um, you guys have a lot of very good videos and a lot of good instruction. So I take that as a huge compliment that you're tuning into my videos, because you guys are masters of the construction and sewing aspects in fashion design. So if you're looking at my stuff, it gives me chills. I thank you for that. It looks like cold coffee. No, it's orange. It's orange. It's orange. No, I'm not allowed to have caffeine, apparently. Orange juice, yeah, boost, right. Now with B12 powder, yeah, I do the, what do you call it, drops, the B12 drops. So, yeah, learning, getting healthy, you know, learning what is necessary for the long haul and being sustainable is important. So yeah, all of it. I think it all goes together. You know, I was doing some research on fashion design. Oh, Pakistan, thank you. Yes, you guys are, Pakistan is the largest exporter of cotton, and you guys have amazing cotton. Very true. Yes, very, very true. And I hope that, you know, to be able to get some of that again, and I hope that it's not going to be affected by what's going on in the world today, because it is affecting industry as a whole. But yeah, the cotton in Pakistan is amazing. You're right. Yep, it is true. It is true. And going back to the naturals and going back to the really, really good fabrics, there's nothing like it. Now, you cannot go to a store and touch fabric. Very few and far between. If you're lucky enough to be in metropolitan areas where there's still stores available, you know, then you can do that. You can actually do that. But otherwise, you're going to have to know your fabric. You're going to have to know your weave. You're going to have to really know what you're doing, because you have to do it online now. And then you have to take that risk to buy it online. So that, you know, that's changed. You used to walk in the fabric stores and touch everything and feel everything and take a little snip and then burn it and figure out what's going on. Do I have an online resource for garment fabric? Not for fabric. I mean, if you're part of my YouTube members, you can learn or get information as far as what you need for a specific project of somebody, another member that might want to know. We exchange that information regularly of tools and techniques and equipment and fabric and where you're getting this and where you're getting that and what's the best this and what's the best that. Quilters rule in many towns. Yep, they do. They do. I never got involved in that as much. The most I ever did with the quilting is make it into garments, you know, so putting patches in garments, but I never did that. When I wanted to back up and just relax the creative juices, I did things like crocheting, and then it turned into crocheting garments, right? And just in this little break, I've been trying to go to the beach as often as I can, early in the morning, and walking and praying and collecting shells. And so I've been kind of collecting that, and I'm going to be making some, you know, creative mirrors with that, because that's a big thing for me as well. Do I edit my videos? Yeah. I edit all my videos, guys. And I know people have said, oh, AI can do it for you. Not my type of videos. They cannot. They cannot. When you have, especially the classes that are about 4 hours long, you can't pick the exact things that need to be in and need to be taken out. That's still only a human can do, I think. You know what I mean? If I have a video that is A-okay, you know what I mean, all the way throughout, and I let AI take it, they'll be able to take a portion that's going to probably be able to be still productive, right? But I do not do the thumbnails. I do have somebody that does my thumbnails now. Yeah, I don't know. Just too much time on that. Too much time on that. So I trust that out. I would love to see some of these videos possible. I'm not sure when I'm going to relinquish the editing, you know, part to somebody. First of all, it's super expensive. You know, if you have let's say an hour of footage and you use anybody, especially if you use anybody in the United States, it's hundreds, right? It could be, you know, a lot of money unless you have your own person. So that's part of the creative process for me. It used to be really part of the creative process. And when I have more time to actually really do it properly and get in there and get in there and get in there, to really get it down where it needs to be, then I'm really happy with it. But putting all the extra graphics and overlays and all of that, I don't like to do that, and that's where I like the help, and that's where, you know, I can get the help from you guys with that. So that's how I use, you know, the other sources and stuff. But otherwise, it's all edited by me, and it's sometimes days for one video to be edited. So approximately 5 to 6 hours shooting a video. If I'm teaching you a specific thing, it could be even one small specific thing, anywhere from 3 to 6 hours. And then it could be up to 2 days in the editing, and a full day mostly to upload the higher density footage to YouTube. So it's a lot. It's a lot. Questions about the industry, questions about anything, pretty much I'll answer. Anyways, I appreciate you guys both being on Instagram and YouTube. Let's see where we're at. Let's see where we're at. May not happen. Because I sent out something saying that I'm here, I wanted to pop on. We might not get there yet, but I think I don't know if we're 3 or 2 away from 40,000. So if you haven't yet, go on Susan Elias Couture on the YouTube channel and click subscribe and hit that bell, and you can, you know, get my videos as they come and be notified. Okay, I appreciate it. Where do you personally get your design inspiration from? Everywhere. It's interesting, guys. Where it used to make me tick is not working anymore. So I'm kind of like mixing it up. But what used to do it for me, guys, when I feel like I'm hitting a brick wall and I don't feel like I'm feeling creative, I'll just stop in the middle of the day. And it used to be there was a lot of movies to see, and I'll go to a movie and just sit there, and somehow that'll percolate things. It's movies, art, music is huge for me. Music is huge for me. I might get a certain musician or band or artist in my head. It might even be a specific song. And I might even get the song and actually create something from a song afterwards. So it's, you know, fabric was always a big inspiration for me. If it's like an incredible fabric and I just want to do something with it, I can look at it and get creative. But I always say, I'm a designer first. I'm not a stylist. I don't create from what exists. I create from nothing. So how I create is usually nothing. I have to be in a clean slate somewhere, sitting on the beach, staring at the ocean, sitting on the beach, touching the sand, looking at a shell, looking at a piece of art, listening to music, walking somewhere, seeing something in a window. it's random stuff. And that's also why a lot of designers, you know, go on trips and things, and I'm most likely going to be planning one to force myself to do that, because you've got to get out of your little element, right? When Yves Saint Laurent had his block and he didn't know what to do, and he went to, I forgot what country he went to, and to get that whole Middle Eastern flavor of that whole show that he did. Now my brain is fried. I forgot what year that was. If you guys can remember, you know, speak it out. And he did an entire collection from that one experience of going, because he was so burned out and he just needed to get away, and somehow it percolated things, and then it started everything up again, and then he was able to create this entire line, which was super, super successful. And I have the book, and I could probably, you know, pull it over here and give you the actual collection. But, you know, Yves Saint Laurent was one, you know, other artists, Picasso was another, you know, where they just felt like they had to go somewhere and out of their norm and different from what they're normally doing, to have things percolate and have things start to have, you know, to get inspiration. Okay, your love of old 30s and 40s movies, okay? Fashion, awesome. If that's the era that you like, then that's what you should constantly be looking. I love the, you know, Victorian age. I love the 1700s. I love that, and it's always been, you know, the movies that I like to watch, you know, to percolate. But it changes, like I said. What used to percolate or used to make me tick no longer is working. So you have to try something completely new. You have to, like, if you're turning around this way, for how many times, you got to turn it around this way to get something new. And that's something I'm saying to myself, because you can keep going in the same, you know, circle until you get out of it. So yeah, I love you know, that whole Victorian age. I love all of that. I mean, you can see a lot of inspiration from my work if you follow my work from the 80s, 90s, 2000s, 10, 20. I stopped manufacturing in 2015, and just was in the teaching end of it and coaching different designers or companies and helping them get started and working on their businesses as well as YouTube. So the manufacturing end of it, you know, I kind of got out of, but it doesn't stop the wanting to create something new. I still feel the need, and sometimes it percolates. I'm not sure where I'll go with this, but I still feel like when I get an inspiration, sometimes I actually see the show. Like, I'll get the inspiration and I can actually see it already down the runway. Like, it goes fast forward in my brain that way when I actually have an inspiration. So I can, the whole mood of what I want to do, or the whole look of what I want to do, and then I can create a line that way as well. But that's the way my brain works, and that's the way I actually design. Everybody's different. You know, everybody has a different way of doing it. So I'm gonna go grab that book. I'll be right back. All right, so I've got the Yves Saint Laurent book. That was the, that's way back. Let me see if I can find where he had that collection. Now, I saw the Yves Saint Laurent exhibition in Paris 2023. It was mind-blowing. I have some videos on that experience. It was really incredible. I was not able to see the Dior yet. That was full. I think it's still, you know, going on. People are showing and showing that. But he was more of an influence to me than Dior was in my designing. the aesthetics. So I was more interested in that anyways. But let me see what country it was and where he went, if I can find it. It was a fall collection. If you guys know it, it was a Russian influence he had as well. That was a whole collection here that he did. The whole Russian influence that, but I'm trying to think where the other one was. I don't know if that was part of it, and I'm trying to think what country, because I don't think it was Russia that he went to. It was some Middle Eastern country that he went to, and I think it was just because he wanted to take a break, and then it turned into a collection. And now my history. And then there was also the African collection. Guys, you remember that? That was another big influence that he had. I'm just trying to see where that was. And then, of course, the one from the art was the ninja. This was the most important part of his career. Mandarin dresses that were really cool to see in person, guys. It was really cool to see in person. And to see his workspace, that was also amazing. He was a big influence. He was a big influence. Another big influence back then for me was Erte, the artist, the artist, and he was also a sculptor, and he did all of the illustrations for Harper's Bazaar back in the 20s, and huge inspiration to me. So that was, you know, some of the stuff that I used in my bank, so to speak. In other words, I will see something, movie, museum piece, or whatever, and then I put it, it's in my bank, right? It's in my head, it's already there, it's in part of my brain. So when I'm ready to create, I'm taking from what I put in. I'm taking from these little influences that I saw and see. And so that is why I basically felt that it's always important to keep inputting, you know, new things into your bank, so to speak. 1969, that wasn't it. I'm trying to remember because it was later in life when he did that. If anybody can remember where he went, what country, where he went on a hiatus that turned into one of the most important collections of his life. Let's see if it's going to share. He had the Russian. I don't think it was Russia. I thought it was. Yeah, I'm not really sure where it was. See if you guys know. I'm going to look. Let's see where we're at. And another thing that was very important to me, and I haven't done anything on it yet. I actually haven't explored it. Someone knew me from childhood and gave me this book, and I moved so many times that I've narrowed down my book collection. It's very, very tight. But I kept this book, and I don't know if you know who this is, right? This was like, you either knew about Geoffrey Beene or you didn't. It was a huge influence on me as well, as far as design goes. And I really haven't done a retrospect or dived into how it influenced me or what happened with Geoffrey Beene, but it's a complete genius with, I can't really say minimalism so much, but in a weird way, there was a minimalistic approach to his designs that didn't look, that were very complicated, right? So he did things that had to do with the lines, had to do with the lines of the body, the lines of the shapes of the garments. And you looked at something and you could tell that was a Geoffrey Beene, right? And so that was the trick, back then, where you didn't have social media, where you could easily identify designers by their work, by their work. That's how consistent they were, even though they changed their collections and they changed the designs from collection to collection to evolve and to give the customer something new. There was still something very elementary about their approach, like that's still my identity. That's how they branded themselves, right? That's how they became a brand. Also, when we didn't talk about brands back then. No one even used the word brand back then. Can you recommend a good fashion history book, Susan? Well, I still think the all-time best book was the Couture book, which I still have. That was given to me also a long time ago. Let me see if I can find that. This one is the Couture book. I still love this book. It's, it stops at a certain point because it's already old. The great designers, Carolyn Reynolds, Milbank. It is, I think, fantastic and pretty thorough as far as the different designers that were important in this century, basically. So going back to the very beginning, of course, you have to touch base in the beginning of fashion, and it just goes all the way, goes, let's see how far it goes. And it'll mention designers that you probably don't remember or didn't think were relevant. It'll give you a fashion history on that as well. There's a lot of other books. I have some other ones that are good as well, but let's see how far it goes. Issey Miyazaki, I think, is the last designer that's in this book, and it is, let's see when it was published. Okay, so it talks about the open of couture, which was in 1840 with Charles Frederick Worth, and then it goes all the way to Issey Miyazaki. But let me see when this was actually published, because I got this way back. I don't think what year I got this. I think it's like 1990s when I got this book. Maybe a little bit before that, maybe 89, 90. I got the book. Read The Lost Art of Design. Very interesting book. No, I have not read The Lost Art of Dress. I've not read that. Very interesting. I maybe will do a screenshot. Let's see, so I can remember that off. But I'll check that out. Must read. Okay. All right. I will. I like to see new books that actually have the long haul or the. Oh, I'm live again. There we go. Yeah, okay, it worked. Oh, I'm live again. There we go. Yeah, okay, it worked. I think someone was leaving a message and that made it freeze, but I think I'm back. Right? Give me a thumbs up if I'm back. I still see you. Okay, you're on Instagram, but I'm also on YouTube, and that's what froze, I think. I don't know if you're also on YouTube. Okay, let's go. It's okay. Yes. Okay, I'm back. Awesome. Yeah. So history is very important. Again, all things to put into your bank to create. You're on both. Oh, thank you for being on both. Thank you for being on both. Trying to be a little bit more lively. At least still tired, but I'm here. I'm here. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get to it. Let's see. I'm gonna refresh. But yeah, I mean, the last book that I got actually was Leonardo da Vinci that I bought when Barnes & Noble was closing in one location to another location. Because I still, even though the last time I went to Paris, I did not go to the Louvre. I was not able to see, did not have time to see it. Just fascinating reading and examining this book. Let me get that. So it doesn't necessarily have to be a fashion book, right? It can be an art book. It has to be something that inspires you. And I'll go through these periods where I get just a song in my head, or art piece in my head, or a movie slang, or just maybe the lighting or the way someone dressed. Like I did an entire collection from what do you call it? God, my brain. I am so sleep deprived. I can't even think. Andy Warhol, when they did the entire movie about his muse, and I watched that movie, and I basically did an entire collection from that movie alone, and it turned into a fashion show and a movement, and then it just percolated and kept going and kept going. So I'm trying to remember the name of that movie because it was fantastic. And the garments in that movie just inspired me. The actress in the movie just was so good. Sometimes it's even better than the reality of the documentaries, but I like to see every single documentary of every single, high-level designer that ever lived, every artist that ever lived. If it's a documentary and it has to do with art, and it's a documentary that has to do with fashion, I want to see it. That's a must for me. Also, just getting in the brain and getting in the process of the masters and how they created, what motivated them to create, how they started the journey of creating, Leonardo was basically doing almost medical sketches, right? He was doing the anatomy in such detail that, that was his obsession for a while, right? That was his obsession. And then it turns into something else. But in order to be good, to be more minimal with the approach, like Picasso, etc., you have to know how to put all the lines in. You have to know where all the lines are. You have to know where all the body, shapes and muscles and bone structure is before you can start taking and eliminating. So that's, where they all start. No one just starts, with a line and says, I'm a minimalist, right? You don't get there just from the beginning. You get there from evolving into it, from learning and mastering all of it and then eliminating. So that's how, these masters evolved and became what they are. But also going into museums and looking at the paintings of just fabric, right? Fabric, how they rendered the fabric, where you can see the actual fabric and the way it actually drapes. And you can look at that and know what that is from the actual painting. And that's the fascinating thing. I'm drawn to those types of paintings. I want to see the ones where there is somebody sitting there with a beautiful gown and watching the fabric, and how did they render the velvet? How did they make that come out? How did they look at the taffetas and the satins and the silks? And it's fascinating. It's just awesome. It's just really, really awesome. As far as, the anatomy and all of that, that's also important. You have to learn that in school. And if you go, they're going to make you do life drawing. You still have to learn that. And then you get to do fashion sketches, which is a little bit different heads. Life drawing, 7 to 7.5 heads. Fashion illustrations can be anywhere from 8 to 13 heads. I was known for doing the 13 head illustrations. You elongate the body, you make it more appealing for fashion, so it is not realistic as far as the human body, unless of course you are a model and you are that tall, right? And here we go again, showing a sleeve, right? Leonardo da Vinci showing just the rendering of the sleeve and how that's done. How amazing is that? How amazing. Sometimes I just have music in the background, flipping through the pages, reading randomly, you know, the different aspects or the different areas. That is, you know, something I'll do to actually get percolated. Anyways, do not want to make this long and drawn out. Where are we? Where are we? We are almost there. But yeah, so if you haven't, go on YouTube, Susan Elias Couture, and subscribe. Put me out of my misery. Get me out. Let's do the 40,000. We're there. It'll happen either tonight or whatever, however it works. I love the fact that it's organic anyways, you know, so people subscribe when they really feel the need to and want to learn and see more of what I have to offer. So I don't take it lightly, you know, when you guys do. And so that's important to me as well. It's not just, you know, flipping the page and having the number, because I would have been long gone with the number. You know, if I let that really bother me. So yeah, but it is still a milestone. So I'm excited. I thank you so much for supporting me, watching the videos, engaging with the comments, and you know, participating in the classes as well as my memberships. All of it has meant everything to me, so you have no idea. I can be having the worst day and I'll have my premium members meeting, and all of a sudden it's like, you know, putting blood in my veins. It's just amazing what it does. So I just wanted to come on and thank you guys for that. I hope that you're having a great day. It is Friday. It is summertime. I don't know if you guys are exploring different things. It's still a good time to learn. It's still a good time to get to the nitty-gritty and get serious if you want to learn fashion design. So I'm here. There's a lot of material. And to look out for the YouTube members masterclass level. So if you go on the join and you get the members masterclass level, you will get my actual courses that were recorded and edited down. They're not 4 hours anymore. Some of them are 2 hours plus, with the materials so that you can follow along. What's kind of nice about it is I'm not just like talking to you and showing you. You have the interaction of the students as well as they're doing it. And somehow I think that might even encourage you and help you, because they might ask a question that I'm not normally going to address, but because they brought it up, it's addressed in the course, and that also might help you. So I think that dynamic might be more interesting to watch, interesting to learn from, and I hope that you will check it out. Do more lives. Really? Am I interested enough for more lives? I was told not to do lives. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'll do more lives. Okay. What do you guys want to see as far as videos go? I'm curious, like, what's the biggest problem that you're having right now that you want to see solved? I noticed the videos that I have where I'm actually really seriously solving an issue is, you know, are the ones that of course have the double and triple digit, you know, views on them. I still like to be artistic. I still like to do them with a more, you know, storytelling, but I know you guys sometimes want to just get to the nitty gritty and learn a specific thing. So I'm curious about what that is, you know, that you want to learn. Yeah. So much for all this great conversation. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much for tuning in this whole time. There was a Connie Banco. Are you related to Connie Banco? No? She was a swimwear designer back in, I'm trying to think, the 90s in Miami. She had her own line. Look up Connie Banco with a C. Yeah, she was a big thing, and then she burned out and kind of disappeared and went into quilting. Because that's what eventually happens. You get burned out, and then, you know, you just don't come back. Yeah, yeah. And she needed that. She needed to still be doing something and be productive. But she was the guru. She did custom bathing suits before anyone was really doing custom. Like, she did custom to some huge celebrities. She had this really cool uh, retro corner lot store that was in Miami, that was famous for many, many years. And then she sort of disappeared, had falling out, I guess divorce, and then, you know, regrouped, and then was, I think, in South Miami at one point with her shop, and she hired me along to do some stuff, and then just slowly did not show up, did not want to come to work, right? And the next thing I know, she was just like, oh, doing quilts, I'm done, I'm out of here. But she was, you know, pretty famous for doing what she was doing for a while. So yeah, check out Connie Banco's suits, bathing suits. So yeah, patterns that Sue's Grace Kelly wore. Awesome, awesome. Would love to see that. You can always email me and ask me a question. Show me a picture, you know, Elias Couture at gmail.com, ELIAS COUTURE at Gmail. You can send me a picture, a question, or show me what you're doing. I would love to see it anytime and respond to that. But I should have waited till I was there, but I am not there yet. And let's see what happens shortly. Thank you for your dedication and being here for me, guys. I so appreciate it. And I will be putting some videos out, doing some research at this point to see, you know, which ones I'm going to be doing. And you'll see that shortly. Yeah, online for sale. Oh, you see some? Okay, you see some Connie Banco suits online for sale. Interesting, yeah, vintage. Yeah, she was a big deal. Back in the 80s, I think, she was a big deal and stuff. And then she came back in the 90s, late 90s, I think, like, not late 90s, mid 90s, you know, 94, 95, you know, that kind of thing. And then kind of poofed, I think in 97, just kind of disappeared again. So, but very good at what she did. You know, she could just look at you, do a couple of tweaks, send you on your way, and make a complete amazing custom suit for you, you know, in days. And she was very selective. She just had a couple of seamstresses that just did it. She didn't have this big factory going, you know. I don't know what she did back in the 80s. She probably did back then, but not when I joined with her and stuff. But yeah. Well, I mean, she had some famous styles that were not quite as modest. I mean, maybe what you're seeing online was modest, but I think, you know, I believe it or not, I think she was one of the ones who did it, you know, where the breasts were completely exposed. But that was also done by somebody else. I'm trying to think who did the first suit like that, which designer did that suit, because that was, you know, when they started getting shocking and stuff. Of course, now Miami swimwear, you know, is just a shoelace and two little stars and you're done, right? So that's about as creative as they get. But it's a big thing. Miami swimwear is huge. People come from all over to see that. So that's still a big thing. You know, if you're into swimwear, that's still huge in Miami. So thank you guys. Thank you for joining. I think I, you know, put you out of your misery. I'm not gonna just sit on too long, but appreciate the time that you've given me and that the space that you have given me as far as, YouTube and Instagram with the lives. I will do some more lives, I guess, and see where that goes. I think I'll give you a little bit more heads up so that you know what's happening, and maybe some interviews live as well. If you didn't catch it, I did an interview with the CEO of Midnight Oil, which is a bespoke suit brand that is just doing great. You might want to see that full interview. Is now on YouTube for you guys to see. Okay, she even had long pant styles and covered the whole body except sleeves. She did some bare stuff too. She did some pretty risque things too. Probably what you're seeing is just what's available, right? But yeah, I appreciate you guys, and hopefully, in the next hour or so, we're going to be at 40,000. Thank you again, and I will see you guys soon. Sasha was ridiculously down to earth. Who was my CEO? Was ridiculously down to earth. I love talking to her. Ah, I don't know who you're talking about, Sasha. Thank you. There isn't that much online of her designs. No. And that's the thing, you have to understand, even my stuff and even Jeffrey Bean, even those designers, there wasn't a lot, photographed. So, yeah, the social media wasn't there. The iPhone wasn't there. We didn't, take pictures. It was a major production. We did photo shoots in order to do that. So unless somebody is taking the time to upload those photos somewhere in some kind of archive situation, you won't see it. And yes, Sasha, the CEO of Midnight Oil was very down to earth, amazing, tangible. So yeah, please look at that video, please look at that interview, because it pretty much tells you everything you want to know. Everything you want to know about the process from the beginning concept to manufacturing, to getting the brand up and running, to keeping the brand going, to manufacturing in Europe as well as the United States, to fabrics coming from all over, to finding manufacturers. I mean, all of it was spoken about. So, if you ever wanted to know the process of getting your brand, online, or how to go about, this would be the interview you might want to watch. Just a single interview will tell you all of that. Also, there is a Connie Banco ink. All right, I'm going to check it out afterwards. I want to see what's there and to see if they had, some more of the risque stuff. She was known for just the fit that was tremendous, right? Because back then it was very generic. Bathing suits were very generic. They weren't custom fit. If you had a custom fit bathing suit, it was a big deal, right? To have something custom made, and it was very expensive, and you had to come in person. So, and you had just a handful of these people who did it, this craft, just like a bespoke jacket, right? There were the bespoke, bathing suits. So she was one of those people that if you needed it to be really bare, it was bare for you, right? It was for whatever you needed it to be. But she was just genius when it came to having a custom fit for you. That's what she was known for. Not so much, I think, the styles. It was a husband and wife team, and I think the husband had a little bit to do with some of the concepts as well. And then when they broke up or divorced, that's when I think the shifts happened as well. So yeah, I rambled enough. I hope that you enjoyed this, and I will see you guys soon. Thank you. God bless. Bye-bye. All right. Trying to get this to stop. Thank you. How do I get out of here? There. and all this other stuff keeps happening, and it won't let me stop. I have to wait for that to move off the screen so I can stop. Here